There is a lot of Chinese electric car brands doing incredibly well, but some of them are doing better than others. These are the top 10 from January and February this year. In other words, these are the top 10 biggest and best Chinese automakers or electric car manufacturers in 2025. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. BYD delivered 322,000 cars in February, which was a staggering result and growth of 170% versus last year. So they're in first place, but BYD is not even in this list. They're not considered an emerging automaker. This list is, these are so-called emerging automakers. Now, Zeekr is technically in first place, but the only reason for that, and kudos to Zeekr, they're still really, really well, but the only reason that they're ahead of Xpeng is because they have actually joined up with Lynk & Co. So Zeekr and Lynk & Co. are now a joint venture group. Basically, Zeekr is taking over Lynk & Co. Lynk & Co. are known for their plug-in hybrids. They have some amazing plug-in hybrids, by the way. I think they probably make the best plug-in hybrids, maybe the best in the world. So that will mean that Zeekr will be selling Lynk & Co. vehicles globally now, from now onwards. In total, Zeekr and Lynk & Co. sold 31,300 cars in February, which was a great result. Even better result than that, though, was Xpeng's delivery figures, which were 30,500 in the month of February, and that was growth of 570% versus February of last year. Staggering result from Xpeng, and I'm honestly very shocked to see that number from Xpeng. Based on those sales figures, it's likely Xpeng will deliver around about 40,000 vehicles in March, and April, I would guess around 45,000. In third place is Li Auto. Obviously, most of the vehicles that Li Auto sell are plug-in hybrids. They do have their MPV, the Li Auto Mega. That's a fully electric car. Doesn't sell that well. It's quite expensive. Very good car, but it's quite expensive. And they do have another electric SUV that they're about to launch within the next few weeks. Li Auto, 26,263 deliveries, which was growth of 29.7% versus February of last year. Next was Leapmotor. Fantastic result for Leapmotor. They are absolutely smashing it out of the park. Leapmotor had 25,300 deliveries, which is growth of 285% versus February last year. Leapmotor, remember, do have another business, which is a joint venture partnership with Stellantis in Europe. And that's apparently going very well also. HIMA delivered 21,517 vehicles, which was a decline of 38.5% versus last year. HIMA is Huawei. So basically that's the automotive division of Huawei. And as you can see, they are doing quite well considering the fact that their sales are actually, their cars are quite expensive. They had their highest average transaction price of all Chinese automotive brands. So the highest average transaction price is pretty surprising considering their average transaction price actually fell by 38.5% versus February of last year. Anyhow, really good numbers for HIMA, or we should say for Huawei. In sixth place was GAC Aion. Aion are the electric car division of GAC, and they are actually going to sell their cars in Europe, in Australia, in Thailand, in many countries around the world, apparently more than 50 countries around the world. They're coming apparently this year to global markets. Their sales increased by 25% versus February last year. They delivered 20,863 cars. There was some months last year that GAC delivered around nearly 50,000 electric cars. But the truth is that 2023 for them was actually a better year than 2024. Xiaomi delivered unsurprising at this point, they delivered more than 20,000 cars every month. They don't actually report on the exact numbers, but we know that it was just over 20,000. Deepal, they delivered 18,738, which was growth of 87% versus last year. You can buy the Deepal S07 in Australia right now. Very good value car. Nio sales were quite disappointing, even though technically it was growth of 62.2% versus February of last year. But, obviously they're in ninth place here with 13,000 deliveries. But those Nio sales are from the Nio group. So that includes their budget brand, the Onvo car brand, and soon I'll have their other brand, which is called Firefly. So the Nio Firefly is a hatch that Nio make, quite expensive hatch. I did a video on that. I'll put a link in the description below. I'm not, probably out of all these 10 car companies, Nio is the company that I would see as being the most likely to fail. They just spend too much money, massive expenditure, and as you can see, their car deliveries are relatively small. This is not a new company. They've been around for 14 years. Voyah, fantastic delivery numbers for Voyah. 8,000 cars, which doesn't sound like a lot, but that is growth of 152% versus last year. These sales numbers are actually pretty damn good for everyone here. I would say everyone here except for potentially Nio. And the reason is because February is the month of the year when the Chinese, they go on holiday. They don't really buy anything, let alone cars, in February. So to see these kinds of sales numbers this year in February, it points to electric car sales growing again this year. I mean, around 50% of all cars sold in China, so around 50% of the 31 million cars sold in China last year were fully electric or plug-in hybrids, and growth this year is tipped to be even higher than last year. It's going to be a phenomenal year for these companies. I'm really going to be very fascinated to see how everything plays out by the end of the year. I'm going to pick some winners for the end of this year. BYD is going to crush it this year, going to have a great year, of course. I think that's a pretty obvious one, though. But who else is going to do well? Well, as you can see, Zeekr, they're definitely on track for significant growth. I don't know how they're going to integrate with Lynk & Co. That's going to be very interesting to see. But there's a lot of people waiting for the Zeekr 7X. So they're going to have a fantastic year. The Zeekr 7X is going to be a global car. It's coming this year. And I think it's going to be a big success. Of course, Xpeng as well. I mean, it's stating the obvious here with Xpeng, but they've got numerous different car models going global within the next 18 months. They've got the Xpeng X9, the G9, the P7 Plus, the Mona, also their new electric SUV, the G7, that's coming as well to right-hand drive car markets. It's just like, wow. They're doing everything all at once. They're going hard, and I hope they succeed. Volkswagen as a group will be using Xpeng's platforms as well for their new electric cars, so that'll help sort of bring in some cash into the Xpeng business. Let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheapest Nio electric car ever. Nio Firefly. I mean, this could be potentially Nio's first global car. Much more within the budget of people within Europe, where Nio is certainly targeting people. So here are the details on the new Nio Firefly. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to have you with us. A new regulatory filing has revealed information about the battery, about the new Nio Firefly hatchback EV. Battery size, it's a 42 kilowatt hour battery. CLTC range of 420 kilometers. So WLTP range will be around 300 kilometers.